Welcome, friends. Welcome, family. What's going on, you guys? It's another watch list. It is Tuesday. Somewhat still kind of morning. We're close. If you guys are on the East Coast, it is midday. But we came in to talk a little bit about what I haven't been able to talk to you guys about. More convention talk. It's been night one of the DNC. You guys saw me all week, every morning after the RNC speeches happened, every day of the DNC, every day of the RNC. We got to get some recaps, and there's tons of speeches. There was a bit of fireworks at the beginning. It wasn't even inside of the venue, it was outside. That's being discussed as well by some folks. But it was the speeches, it was the tenor of the night, it was the energy that they were trying to build. There was some pretty big names for a Monday night at a convention. I've been to not several, been to a few conventions myself from the RNCs and DNCs. I'm actually a little upset that I'm not able to be at this one. It was quite fun. It seemed from the crowd that got it started. My favorites were always the Republican National Conventions. I mean, just because the energy there was, I liked kind of, with the Young Turks and everything, they knew we were broadcasting from there. And when I was an athlete in my young, not rickety knee days, I liked away games. I liked going to another school's gym. I liked going to another school's track and running there. So it was always fun whenever you knew the folks that were there, knew who you were, and knew kind of what you represented, and that you were going to be there to tell the direct truth to their faces. How you guys doing? What's going on? It's been a minute. It's been like a week since I've jumped on with you guys. I apologize. There's lots going on in life. Jeez, give me a damn break, bro. Dexter Wong, yes, first, I guess. I suppose you're the first to say something. What's going on, Dexter? Black Dragon, Rainbow Wyvern, Dylan Doe, Eric Jansen, all you guys, Andrea, Christina. That's the last one I can say. You guys are coming in too fast. Well, Christina, thank you. Love your live videos. You guys also check out the videos on demand that we put up. We go through the general politics of the day, whatever story's happening. A lot of times dispelling the BS and the lies that go on, particularly from Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. But lots of other things happening at all times. Let's get right into some of the things. I like to see you guys file in a little bit before we get to everything that I wanted to talk about. These video clips that we could run from the night of the RNC. I've got several, and I don't want to hold you guys too long. I know you guys don't want to talk that long, but we'll give it a whirl. So since you guys have come in, Tyler Hackner, what's going on, brother? I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Linda Cooper, good morning as well. You guys must be on the West Coast. Let's go to this first video. There was multiple speakers throughout the night. As we go through them all, we had big names. Hillary Clinton, former previous person that they thought was going to be president of the United States back in 2016, defeated by Donald Trump. The current president of the United States, Joe Biden. I'm sure you guys already know this. Let's stop naming who's going to be in the list and just go to this first one. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Really fast. I told my kid last night, because it flashed on the screen, he kept changing it to Gumball or something else on the television. So I didn't get to see everything in their entirety. I saw pieces of most speeches until this morning when I was watching a little bit more. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I told him, I said, a lot of times the conventions are where people launch their national careers if they've had a big enough name and they're known already nationally. But if they're launching, like, they want to see the reaction to them being on stage in front of the crowd that represents, I guess, the majority of the party as far as delegates and representatives and people that are there. It's the who's who. It's a raucous celebration for those who have not been to any conventions. So it could be a nerve-wracking experience. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got up there, and I told him, I said, these are the moments when you don't know whether or not someone wants to maybe go for higher office. She's currently a congresswoman, potentially Senate, and people start running for other things. And look, it's where Barack Obama was the first time people saw his ability to speak in front of a crowd and get them really invigorated and riled up. And I wonder, as I watch these speeches, especially from the Democratic side, I always wonder, which one of these folks has that in their head as they go through these speeches to try and promote themselves, as they're also promoting, of course, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as they go through. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was one of those. Let's go straight to her. I just wanted to give you guys that breakdown as to where I was watching this, the way that I saw her approaching things. Where is this? There she is. AOC on the stage. The last minute and 40 of each.
For the next 7 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate so that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant family just starting your American story, Kamala is for you.
I think we're seeing where the pattern is here.
America, when we knock on our neighbor's door, organize our communities, and elect Kamala Harris to the presidency on November 5th, we will send a loud message that the people of this nation will not go back. We choose a new path and open the door to a new day, one that is for the people and by the people. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless you all.
So, of course, that was the speech. Sorry, you guys. We skipped a little bit here and there between these screens. So that was the back end of her speech, where she was talking about where Kamala is versus the Republican ticket here. And I think it's always the differences we already see, but it's the way you deliver it and whether or not those folks will pick up on it the same way. I listened to much more conservative media in these moments because I already know what supporters of the Democratic Party will be saying. Heard a little bit of Morning Joe this morning. They were fawning all over the entire evening. Of course, there were some moments that had some issues off at the top. There was I think the first tweets and posts that were happening were talking about the empty seats. Oh, look at the low energy in the DNC. There were protests happening outside. In reality, you could talk about the protests happening outside and still have the same, not same kind, but some kind of criticism for what is it's happening, instead of just saying, look at the empty seats, because then you make yourself look ridiculous and uninformed about what is it you're complaining about. So there's empty seats inside the DNC as things got started because there was protests outside where some folks actually they broke through the barricades that keep all the folks inside the DNC separate from folks who weren't ticketed or just general protesters, folks out in the streets just getting a look at the scene. There's tons of people at this particular one because of the genocide and the massacres going on over in Gaza for towards many innocent Palestinian folks. So they're protesting the stance that, of course, the Biden administration has had with continuing to supply weaponry and killing machines to Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli army to continue what they're doing. So that's where the protests came from. People got angry, and people are looking for attention, to draw attention to this massacre, because everyone knows, but they're looking to draw attention to the fact that nothing is being done to stop it. We're supplying it, and we act like we care about other people in the world. I don't know, maybe sometimes we do. So these are some of the issues that popped up right off from the beginning. So AOC has to come in, and one of the many other speakers, and kind of not mention it much. But she did go through the things that Kamala Harris does. Each of them had their points and their moments for doing what they did. One of my favorite speakers of the night was Raphael Warnock. Hold on, I got to shift this chair. It's shifting on me. Hold. In true form. My internet's decent today, but not my chair. Sorry for that, you guys. So Raphael Warnock also came on, and he made some mentions of some of these moments. And I think it actually encapsulated the many different aspects of the Democratic Party, many folks in their support or waiting for support for Kamala Harris because of their approach to this very devastating scenario that's playing out in front of everyone's eyes. And it's a matter of whether or not we're going to listen to what we've seen or not. Sorry, guys, I was on the wrong page. Let's go to Raphael Warnock, because I think this is the back end of his speech as well. And from all accounts, it was wonderful. Let's go.
Neighbors' children to be okay so that my children will be okay. I need all of my neighbors' children to be okay. Poor inner city children in Atlanta and poor children of Appalachia. I need the poor children of Israel and the poor children of Gaza. I need Israelis and Palestinians. I need those in the Congo, those in Haiti, those in Ukraine. I need American asking children on both sides of the track to be okay. Because we are all God's children. And so let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's organize together. Let's pray together. Let's stand together. Let's heal the land. God bless you. Keep the faith. Keep looking up.
Raphael Warnock is, oh, hold on. He's talking to me again. Raphael Warnock is a preacher. I'm not sure if he's a pastor, but he definitely speaks in front of audiences about God, about Jesus, about his religion, about his principles, about his beliefs. You can see the difference between someone who actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to religion, specifically Christianity, versus someone who acts like it in Donald Trump. Over and over and over again, over and over again. God chose me. God chose me. Geez, me. God, Jesus, me, and Jesus, same person. This is someone who speaks about the way that many religions would like for humans to interact, would preach towards humans to actually care about each other's existence, because we generally rely on it to a degree, I guess, until certain societal factors come in and have us kill each other over that same society that we live in. Raphael Warnock pointed out, if you're a Christian, if you believe in God, if you believe children's lives are important, precious little babies, as Donald Trump likes to say, why don't we care about precious little babies that are from Appalachia, that are from Chicago, that are from Texas, California, New York, Seattle, Florida? Who cares? And even get this, Gaza, even get this, Israel. It's crazy how you can actually care about children when they're children, but we like to cut those lines off when it comes to certain kinds of children. So how much of a Christian are you? How much of a carer of children are you? It's pretty obvious when you don't care about other children, if they don't look like you, or if you've been told that they come from an evil place and they all need to die and be exterminated and wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah, it sounds similar language that happened to previous folks in previous years and previous conflicts, and we're doing it again. I hope that came across from the way Warnock delivered those lines, because if you really care, if you actually care, then you would care. Let's go to some more. I feel like I could talk too long about some of these things. Who's up next? Jasmine Crockett came on. I have thoughts about this. Everyone loves Jasmine Crockett. She's, of course, the congresswoman who faced off with Marjorie Taylor Greene and coined bleached blonde, bad built. So she has a bit of she has a track record going with how she can speak. Let's go to Miss Jasmine Crockett really fast. I want to give you guys the last minute of what she said. Where? Aaron? Jasmine? There she is. Crockett. Is it the right one? Hold on. That's right.
Of the free world. So let's compare their resumes, shall we?
Compare.
One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU.
McDonald's. You gotta say it right. It's McDonald's.
HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and leader of the free world.
So, Jasmine Crockett, a bit of it. She had lines like that. She mentioned how, I'm not sure if you guys saw this because I watch too many congressional hearings and elected representatives speak all the time. She had a moment when she talked about how Donald Trump saves his reading for his private time, and she mentioned the toilet before, except in some more explicit terms. So she also recapped those moments. So she had a lot of good lines, a lot of fun lines, a lot of things that exposed how ridiculous this Republican Party is under Donald Trump and how they're falling him off the edge of the earth. So I just have one thought, and maybe I would love to see what you guys think about my thought on this, or folks who at least follow a lot of Jasmine Crockett. For those of you who don't see a lot of what she says and does, I guess it's surface level from what you've seen. Jasmine Crockett is a very intelligent person. Jasmine Crockett puts forward common sense approaches in the middle of these hearings, and on the House floor, even in these committees, that politicians avoid talking about the way that normal people talk about it. That's, I think, one of her biggest draws. And sometimes it takes away from the fact that she's really smart, because people think that she's just this one-liner black woman who gives these one-liners and will read you, right? No, she will, but she also knows what she's doing and knows what she's talking about. And from the moments of the speech that I saw, I worried that it was too much of the portraying her as, delivering the good one-liners that make all the sense in the world. But she's also a serious legislator. She knows what she's doing, and she reads the pulse of the public and sees what can actually assist with the country, things like that, right? And I don't know if it was portrayed enough. I don't want to. I wish. I don't know to the degree to which how much was written and how much they asked her to go a certain degree, or maybe give us this kind of 10. I have no idea how it's put together. So take that part with a grain of salt. I have no idea. But I would like for her to be taken more seriously. I worry that it'll keep people from taking her as seriously as she needs to be taken. Again, everybody loved the bleach blonde bad belt line, which is great. Keep doing it, Jasmine. But I don't want her to be pigeonholed into this one kind of person, because we do that sometimes with black women. That's my only thought. But I love the speech. She did what she had to do. Builds up the audience, builds up the crowd, which by all accounts, it was a pretty raucous, energetic crowd all night. Who's up next? Oh, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton spoke. I got two quick clips from Hillary Clinton. Let me just go straight to it because why not? I've already talked long enough on these other things. Let's see. Democrats said lock. Here it is. Here you guys go. Hold on. I noticed this and I wondered what she would as it happened. Let's watch this.
Trump fell asleep at his own trial. And when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Boo!
As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room. Donald.
So if you guys couldn't tell, when my kid's watching wrestling and then the crowd starts chanting, I never know what the hell they're saying. I'm like, what are they saying? But I picked up on that one because it's very similar to the chants we've been hearing since 2015. Donald Trump, I guess, ignited his crowd to go with the lock her up chants when, of course, he was running against Hillary Clinton. And then when she mentions, of course, his 34 felonies and his crime-ridden history and his past and current and potentially future, they chant lock him up. And it seemed at first she was going to continue to speak over it, because I've seen other folks do this in Democratic, folks speaking. I can't remember who was doing it. Maybe it was Kamala. I'm not sure. But she continued to speak. Then she said, you know what? I'm going to let it ride. And had a little smirk on her face, because how many times those chants were targeted at her, and now the tables are turned. And it seems that that's one of the main reasons he's running, to avoid being locked up, which I'm going to continue to be this pessimist. Dude's never going to jail. I'm sorry. I feel like I had these conversations with other folks on TYT before. Donald Trump is not going to jail. Sorry. No, he not to say he won't have any consequences for his actions. They're not throwing this guy in jail. They're just not going to do it. Not that I don't think he should. I just don't think he will. Anyways, so she had a little bit of a smirk. And by the way, I don't like the lock him up or her up and them up chants. I don't like them. I hate them, because it kind of, especially since it originated with Donald Trump on baseless things, where they just wanted to have this chant line so they could be like they're at a football game. I don't like adopting those types of things. I just don't like it. But I see the reasons for it. That's just me personally. I don't do lock her up, him ups, them up chants. And it seemed Hillary enjoyed it for a second. So I guess we'll let her. Here's the back end of her. Here's the back end of her speech, where, again, there's a theme that Hillary many times goes with, and you guys may remember.
The freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States. Because, my friends, when a barrier falls for one of us, it falls. It falls and clears the way for all of us. So for the next 78 days, we need to work harder than we ever have. We need to beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here, and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go with it.
This is yes, we heard that song her entire so I had forgotten the end there. Hillary Clinton had her, everyone has their things they do, and it's always been her, at the end of her speeches. It's just a side note. So of course the same similar sentiments as far as breaking through the glass ceiling. Finally, we're not there yet, Hillary. It was a major theme of her campaign because it was pretty much expected that she would win, even from Republicans, even from Donald F. and Trump. He thought he was going to lose back in 2016, and then once he won, he's like, "Oh, well, how do I make sure this works well for me?" So as I haven't seen much from Hillary Clinton. I know she's been doing appearances and panels and interviews and things like that, but from this type of major speech in front of the DNC, something like this, it probably had even a larger response than she had in previous ones. I think I was watching MSNBC or CNN, one of them, and they said the response to Hillary Clinton was bigger here than it even was back in 2016 when she was at her convention when she was the candidate. I mean, if it was, maybe because they were thinking, yo, here's the fulfillment of what you were hoping and promising for as far as a woman becoming the president. Again, I think people took it as too much of a given, which I haven't said this much yet, even with Kamala and Tim Walz in here. It's not a given, folks. It's not a given yet. You have to still vote. You have to still actually motivate yourself to do what it is that you think you need to do to rid ourselves of this stain on the country from the MAGA party. Oh, here she goes again. Calm down. Be quiet. Where is she? Oh, Jasmine, stop interrupting. So, yeah, so Hillary Clinton was doing her the speech on breaking through the glass ceiling, which motivated so many more people. Again, the way that women have been motivated to come out and vote more, as rights have been blatantly taken away and promises for more of it. This might be the perfect storm that MAGA wasn't expecting, especially with the addition of J.D. Vance, who has all kinds of problems in his past, and his thoughts about women and what do you call them? Post-menopausal women. That was one of his latest revelations that he spoke about before. So I guess Hillary, again, I mentioned from the top, each of these speakers brings a different aspect of the message that they want to deliver for the night. Hillary brought that one, and that's her thing. That is what motivated folks to be so, enthralled by her. So she had her moments. But one of the last ones, or the last one from the DNC that I want to run through today is old Joe. They brought up Joe Biden on the first night of the DNC. I would have thought it would have been maybe tomorrow, because of course Tim Walz speaks on Wednesday, always the vice president on Wednesday, and then the candidate on Thursday. I would have thought it'd been a little further back, because there's like a level of, in my mind, I think this is how it works, level of importance that builds throughout the week, considering you have the presidential candidate speak at the end. I would have thought they would have brought Biden on another day, maybe to match up with his schedule. But he went on for a while. I didn't see all of it. But of course, the thoughts that everyone would have had is, what's his energy going to be? What's the speech going to be like? You know, he kind of got nudged out of there. There's reports of him being frustrated about being kind of nudged out of there. Other folks just want to blatantly say he was down to leave from the first place. He chose to leave, kind of, but mostly not. Let's keep it real. I think we can admit to that. But Joe Biden spoke, and he talked about it in a way. In this, and go to Mr. Biden. Which one is this? Here comes Joe. Let's see how his speech pattern is this time. Folks,
I've got 5 months left in my presidency.
5 months.
I've got a lot to do. I intend to get it done. It's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more. I love my country more. And all this talk about how I'm angry at all those people who said I should step down.
He's addressing.
That's not true.
Love Joe. Sorry, you guys. Pause for a second, because I want you guys to pay attention to the part that he said. All this talk about me not wanting to step down and this and that, it's malarkey. He didn't say malarkey, but it's not true. It's not true. They're already chanting, "We love Joe" at this point. It's kind of true. You didn't want to leave. We know that. If you wanted to not run, you wouldn't have run in the first place. You wouldn't have been in the middle of the race before you decided not to anymore if you didn't want to. It's okay, bro. I hate that politics has to be this arena where we literally deny the obvious thing that's happening right in front of us. What are we scared of? What are you worried about if you say, yeah, Joe Biden didn't want to leave the race? He was missing that he was an anvil, anchor on the party. He just was, bro, because he wasn't energetic enough, wasn't sprightly, wasn't able to even deliver his own message that well. It's not that he hadn't done anything or he's unable to do anything. He just can't deliver it. He can't make the argument in a robust way in a campaign style process. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It's what it is. You have to convey your message. If somebody can't convey their message, no, the message won't get spread and people won't vote for that message. They'll think they're voting for something good when they've not been informed about what it is that they're voting for. It's straightforward, bro. Why do we have to act like Joe Biden was doing fabulously? He wasn't, bro. He wasn't. And no, he didn't want to leave. That's fine too. Because we have this stupid thing in our heads as Americans to think if a president serves one term, he's a total failure. Oh my God, how do you not serve 2 terms? That's all people care about, to the point where most of their presidency is just based off of trying to get a second term. What are you doing? And we know in order to get, elected and reelected in this country, you have to generate as much money as possible. So that becomes your focus. Anyways, maybe he'll do better with these last, I think he said 5 months in office, because he's not having to worry about running, because you have to split your time, or maybe you only do one. It's okay that dude didn't want to leave and then end up leaving. Here's more of what's
I love my country more, and we need to preserve our democracy. In 2024, we need you to vote. We need you to keep the Senate. We need you to win back the House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump. And elect Kamala and Tim President and Vice President of the United States of America.
As Kamala and Tim sit back, just watching. So Joe Biden basically announced the handing of the torch. We already knew it kind of happened before when he announced the reasons why he wasn't running, and Kamala then took over. So Joe went up there and did Joe Biden. Tried to dispel the rumors about him being upset. It's okay. Yeah, you're upset. It's okay. Maybe you're fine now. You could even say that. I wasn't very happy about this. There was many Democrats. Let's stop acting like it that wanted him to stay in this race because they were worried that not enough people would rally around and support the vice president. Let's just keep it real. That's how it is. They were wrong, at least from the party's perspective. We'll see when it comes to the general election. But from the party's perspective, they rallied around her immediately. It's okay that you didn't know it would happen. I thought it would, but I didn't know. Nobody knows. That's why there's these little things called risks, or then when the reward comes good from that risk, it's a great thing. So far, the reward has worked out. Not predicting anything as far as her winning the presidency, but I'm just saying it's worked out so far. The energy, the poll numbers, the amount of people in support, the fundraising, all of it has gotten so much better since she came in. Joe Biden realizes that even if he didn't then, it's okay for him to now. I talked about Raphael Warnock. This is the last video I'm gonna run through for you guys because I got a lot of work to do. Jesus. So Raphael Warnock spoke about, in a way, showing where an actual Christian thinks about the world and caring for other people. I just want to go to Donald Trump. I'm not sure, he's doing speaking events throughout the week to have some counter programming to the DNC to maybe get people's attention on him, because it's definitely not to campaign. That's the veneer. He's looking to just get more attention. What he generally doesn't like is not being talked about. People need to be saying his name all the time for him to be happy. So there was a CBS reporter who asked him about, again, the near assassination attempt on his life. And I just wanted to many people talk about how Donald Trump is Jesus. I'm not sure if I've heard him say it himself. And in this clip, he's not saying he's Jesus, but he's definitely trying to lean into the divine intervention lines. Here's the last video. This is not from the DNC. It's just what happened while it was going on, and he sees the Messiah. Messiah loves him.
We are removed from the assassination attempt on your life.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you are suffering any PTSD from that experience.
No, not at all. But I do, in thinking about it, it's a miracle that I wasn't killed, as you know. You saw
It's a miracle.
Flight of the bullet and everything else. You saw, they say, an eighth of an inch away, an eighth of an inch. And there has to be a reason. And I do believe in God. I also believe perhaps God had a purpose that he wants to save this country. And I think that may have really been a reason. We have to save our country. Our country is going bad. We're a failed nation. We're failing very badly. You just take a look at the mess that's happening right now in Chicago. The answer is it was a very close call. An eighth of an inch, and I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And I think God has a reason for doing things. And his reason might very well be that he wants to save this country, maybe save the world.
Have you suffered any other kinds of effects?
No, not at all. I haven't. I mean, I got better. I healed well, and I haven't. But it could have been very bad.
Been very bad. It could have been very, very bad. So it was divine intervention. God stepped in, maybe because he wanted to save this country. God, the Christian version of God, made sure that the bullet didn't hit Donald Trump, made sure that it just grazed his ear, whatever they finally concluded. God did that because he wanted to save the United States of America. God did that. Around 1775, 76. God said, you know what? Now this country is mine. I'm going to create a country where the people who came in completely displaced, killed, murdered, poisoned, spread disease to the natural inhabitants of that land. That's my land. That's my country. God ordained the United States of America. Did he ordain the United States of America when it was just 13 colonies on the East Coast? Did he ordain it once it spread west? At what point should he stop ordaining the United States of America? Because as you guys may not know, the United States of America is not in the Bible. Will he still be ordaining it if we go and conquer other countries that surrounding nations? Is that still the United States of America that he said is ours? Or that he wants to save because he decided to put Donald Trump in place to save the United States of America? He was already in place for 4 years. I guess God put him there 4 years ago to save the United States of America. So maybe those million people that died of COVID in 20 at the beginning of most of 2020, was God saying that? I ordained the United States of America as my land, and therefore over 1 million of you should die. Is that how God works? Somebody should ask him these follow-up questions. How do you know that God ordained you to be the savior of the United States of America? Why does God give a hot damn about the United States of America? Does God care about capitalistic societies? Does he care about price gouging? Does he care about using workers to benefit the richest of us all? Does God care about taxes being sent up to the richest folks while everyone else struggles and fights over themselves for it? Does God care about any of that stuff? I'm trying to find the biblical verse where he cares about the United States of America and billionaires' tax breaks and their estate taxes and their yachts and their houses and their buildings and all that. I'm looking for that moment in the Bible. I don't know. Maybe Raphael Warnock talked about it. He's a preacher. No, but Donald Trump has been ordained by God, Jesus. And by the way, in that whole line of BS that he just spewed there, he pointed out, look at what's going on in Chicago. Somebody ask him one time when he says, look what's going on, when he says Chicago, LA, New York, San Francisco, whatever the hell city he wants to point out. He always starts with Chicago. Look what's going on in Chicago. Oh, Donald, actually, I haven't been paying attention to Chicago because, we're just a bunch of lib media figures who don't know what's going on anywhere in the country. So tell me, I'm clueless. Teach me, Mr. President, since you're the best president of all time, what is going on in Chicago? It's a real quick question. What's going on in Chicago? And if he says the crime murder rate's super high, you don't even have to dispute it and tell him, crime rates are down. But anyway, forget that. You could actually say to the next, really? Crime rates are way up in Chicago? Why? Just make him answer questions, because all he says is these stupid little inserts of, look at what's happening. Okay, I'm looking at it. There's people that go to work. There's rich people, definitely a lot of rich people in Chicago. There's people that go to school. There's some homeless folks. There's drug addicts. Some of those drug addicts are rich. Some of those drug addicts live on the street. There's fishing. There's tourism that happens. What's going on in Chicago, Dami? It's baked into the BS. Let's keep it real. Okay. By the way, I saw you guys debating a little bit earlier. Oh, sorry. A good point. I'm seeing what you said. I just almost scrolled it. You don't like my music says, where does divine intervention leave the poor guy who died? Great question. Because that poor guy who died was a diehard Trump supporter. He was apparently protecting his family when he got shot as that gunman was shooting at Donald Trump. And did he, I'm just trying to figure out, like, how come he couldn't save the country? Like, which Bible verse says that guy, that fireman, should die, who was a sycophant fan of yours? He was a fan of yours, vowed to forever to be a part of what it is you were doing. Why didn't God save him? Because again, you can manipulate and use God all you want. Someone who's going to say some more blasphemous things may say, yo, I was all on the MAGA train until God allowed that bullet to kill that innocent man. You could easily say that. Doesn't make any damn sense, but you could say it and be like, oh, I'm totally off of this party. God just gave me a sign that if somebody starts shooting and MAGA folks get shot, that I shouldn't be a part of this anymore. Doesn't make any damn sense. Makes just as much sense as you saying, God shifted the bullet an eighth of an inch from my ear, and therefore he wants me to save America. F out of here. Sorry, I was going to talk about the debate that was happening earlier. I'm forgetting who all was a part of that debate, but Jasmine Crockett said McDonald's, and I said, yes, say it right, McDonald's. I don't say McDonald's, but it somehow sounds more appealing when I hear someone say McDonald's. I don't like fast food, but when someone says, let's go to McDonald's, I go, you know what? Yeah, actually, no, but you made me think about it for a second. Let's keep it real. McDonald's sounds more appealing than McDonald's. All right, or Mickey D's. I see 97420 Empire says Mickey D's. I remember Mickey D's from the 90s and maybe early 2000s. I don't know. That didn't sound good at all. Sound like a disease. All right. See you guys later. I got a lot of stuff to do. It's been on for 40 minutes. Maybe I'll talk to you guys some more. I always come on here expecting to talk for 10 minutes and look at what the hell happens. You guys just won't let me go. I'm going to leave now. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll see what fireworks happen tonight. But apparently the former president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, is speaking tonight at the DNC. Should tear the house down. It's going to be more excitement and craziness happening. We'll see you guys later. Have fun. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'll try to enjoy mine. We'll see y'all tomorrow.